The world remembers David as a boy with a stone, but the Philistines remembered him as the architect of their destruction. To the ancient Near East, the Philistines were an unstoppable, ironclad juggernaut, sea peoples who possessed technology that Israel couldn't even replicate. Scripture tells us that not a blacksmith could be found in all Israel, leaving the Hebrews to fight with sharpened plowshares. But David understood a principle that changed the course of biblical history. God does not save by sword or spear. To defeat an empire, David didn't build a bigger army. He built a lethal, high-mobility insurgency. Before he wore a crown, David wore the dust of the desert. While fleeing Saul, David retreated to the cave of Adullam. It was here that he gathered his mighty men, 400 souls, who were in distress, in debt, and bitter in spirit. This wasn't a royal guard. It was the birth of a guerrilla unit, trained to use the terrain as their greatest weapon. The Philistine war machine relied on the chariot, the tank of the ancient world. But chariots require flat, open plains. David drew the fight into the ravines, where 1,000 chariots were worth less than a single well-placed stone. David's victory over Goliath was the blueprint. Goliath was the heavy infantry, armored, slow, and designed for close-quarters combat. David was the light skirmisher, unarmored, fast, and lethal at a distance. He refused Saul's armor because it stripped his mobility. He brought a projectile weapon to a sword fight, striking the one exposed inch of his enemy's forehead. When David was finally anointed king, the Philistines deployed their forces in the valley of Rephaim to crush him. God commanded David to circle around behind them, classic flanking maneuver, and wait for a divine signal. To Samuel says, "As soon as you hear the sound of marching in the tops of the balsam trees, move quickly." By the time the Philistines realized the Israelites were behind them, the iron monopoly was shattered. David broke their lines from the rear, driving them back from Geba to Gezer. The secret wasn't a manual, but a covenant. He proved that a small group of consecrated men, moving with the agility of the Spirit, can dismantle any empire. Do you think David's success was purely tactical brilliance, or literal divine intervention? Comment warrior below for a deep dive into their weapons.